seriously,
Oh
what you
boy,
want?
welcome
Fine.
to a new episode of Is This What You Want with Matt and Julia. I am Julia, and across from me, or next to me, is my husband, my partner, my full-on enemy, Matt O'Brien.
Enemy. Wow.
We
Also,
say that every time.
That intro sounded like you were selling cattle at the old cattle auction. Oh boy, do we have some ham dinger, ring dinger beef
We
ringers?
got a prime bovine up for sale, going once, going twice, sold to the man licking his lips.
That'd be disgusting if there was a guy at a cattle auction. He's like, I'm going to eat one of these. Like
He's
just
just so
hungry,
ready.
so ready and so hungry.
And
It's
he has
like,
just little packets of salt in his pocket.
yeah. I wonder if that's ever happened. Someone like salts down their cow after they buy it and tries to eat it, and they're like,
Tries to take a bite out of it.
You can't just eat the cow that you purchased. I mean, you can.
Yeah, what if people who don't understand how beef is made, if they're like, can I just have a slice of that cow? Like, I don't want the whole thing. I just want a slice of this live cow.
I guarantee it's been asked, especially people being like, I want to make sure the beef quality is top notch.
How I know it's good? Give me a slice of that cow.
Give me a slice of cow. I wish people could eat slices of me.
I mean,
think
that would
as long
be,
as it grew back.
Yeah, that'd be so much nicer if we could just eat a slice of cow and then it grow back and it wouldn't hurt them. Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
a nicer world?
Isn't that snails? There's some sort of sustainable thing that you're like, whatever, for every one you eat, like 5 more.
Like
Oysters?
A worm?
I don't know.
Oysters are sustainable. I forget why, but I remember reading an article being like,
No one wants to eat them?
no, everybody wants to eat oysters.
I don't think
Hello.
everybody. I'd say majority of the population is like gross. But then there's the weirdo 1%ers. You heard me.
No.
They're like, let me slurp
Non
up
one
that sea
percenters
snot.
love oysters too. Listen, they're expensive and they're good, but from the if you don't eat animals from like I think it was like from a like saving the world standpoint, being like, oh, because animals contribute to blah blah blah. Am I making sense?
No.
Some vegans don't eat meat because they're like, oh, it's worse for the environment.
Like cow farts, whatnot.
Yeah. But oysters,
Cows are basically
are quite
like a
sustainable.
Ford F-150 worth of pollution. I made that up right now, but it could be true. If you look at a truck, a pickup truck, a beautiful Ford F-150 next to a cow, little difference. They're pretty much exactly the same.
they're the exact same, and
Same amount of wheels.
Matt is here spreading lies on this here podcast.
Way harder to drive a cow.
I think I could drive a cow better than I could drive a truck.
Really? I mean, you did ride horses, and a cow's
Yeah.
just like a slow, delicious horse.
I saw so many cows when I was in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I would hope so. If
Like
you saw
so
if,
many
if
cows.
you came back from this Oklahoma trip and you're like, I didn't see one cow, I'd be like, the world is in danger.
I saw so many cows, so many horses.
Yeah.
I saw an armadillo. It was dead, but I seen it.
How mashed up was it?
Not very mashed up. Like you wouldn't even know it was dead. It was just very still and not moving.
Well, because that's the armadillo's thing. It's armored.
Mm-hmm.
It's an armadillo.
So it's possible it still was
Wait.
alive. It was just stunned.
Is it called a dillo? But it's just an armored version?
Is there an unarmored dillo?
Unarmored dillo?
A flesh dillo?
I took an edible at 2 p.m.
Whoa.
Yeah, that could be it. But let us know
Flesh
in the
dillo.
comments if there is an armored dillo out there or a regular unarmed dillo.
Yeah, just a dillo is like with waving a white flag.
Yeah. I pose no threats. I have no armor.
I am just dillo.
I am Dillo, just a soft, squishy Dillo. You could
What
say
is
our dog
inside? An armadillo is truly like a slug mammal.
No, the inside's not like a slug. The inside's more like a fox or a hedgehog or something. It's basically like a hard hedgehog.
Is it? You know what?
Kinda.
I don't think I've ever.
You thought they were like gooey, like slugs?
I thought it was. I don't know what
No, there
I
is
thought.
an Amazonian thing that like a centipede or something. I think you're mixing these things up.
No. Listen, I saw an armadillo with my own eyes, but I
Well,
can't.
it was smashed in by a car, so it's probably a bit gooey.
I actually can't picture the armadillo's face.
It's pointy. It's like a dog face, kind of.
It's not a dog with a shell.
It's basically a shelled dog, a candy-coated dog.
So you're telling me if we put a candy coating over Shan, she'd be an armadillo?
Armadillos are the M&Ms of dogs. Armadillo.
Okay, now I need to look at this armadillo just to get eyes on this thing.
See? Look at his fucking little face.
Oh,
even like
But he even has like a shell on his like face.
yeah, he's got a little mask on.
So wait. Whoa.
And he's got little tufts of fur. Like he's got the little old man eyebrows under like Shan's
So
head
wait,
on
can
her
he
belly.
take off his little helmet? Because why does that one not have any armor on?
Maybe it grows. Maybe it's just like a giant toenail or something that just kind of,
This is truly the craziest animal I have ever seen.
People think the platypus is the craziest, but armadillo for sure.
No, armadillo.
Armadillo grows its own clothes. What animal grows its own clothes? I mean, fur, but like armor.
Yeah.
Like whatever happened to this animal in ancient times is like, I need to evolve armor
Absolutely.
to survive.
Wild. Whew.
We should have armor as humans. Why are we not? I mean, skin, but we're too
Maybe
soft.
we one will day.
The armadillo should be in
Did you
charge.
just hear what I said? I said maybe we'll one will day.
Maybe we'll one will day.
And I meant to say maybe we will one day. Listen, I did not take an edible.
Good.
I've had one sip of a drink.
Because
So,
what time is it?
It's Chappy Hour.
You're damn right. It's the only happy hour dedicated to the worst robot movie of all time, Chappie. Julia has not seen, and
No.
I saw once, and it stuck with me for my whole life. Which you could say is the testament of a great movie.
There you go. Made
So,
an impression.
It's like
good or bad. It's
what was
in
that
there.
outfit that RuPaul made fun of last week on Drag Race UK?
Right.
And she's like, "It's so bad, it's almost good."
good. Yeah.
When things are so bad, it's almost good. Chappie is still very bad. It is not even close to where it's good, but I keep talking about it, and they've been getting free advertising for.
We've been doing more
years.
for Chappie than
Chappie's done for
than
Chappie.
Chappie's done for Chappie.
Yeah.
And I did say I would watch it on a plane if I was on a plane, and I was on a plane. But guess what? My little putt plane
Yeah.
to Tulsa, Oklahoma, didn't have any TVs.
Can you imagine you start watching it on a plane, and the pilot comes back and is like, "I'm going to need you to stop watching that." The flight attendants are unnerved. People around you are unnerved. Who watches Chappie on a plane? They're going to be like, "Are you dangerous?"
Yes.
They're definitely like the flight marshal is going to come back.
Or
and
if
he's
they're
gonna,
like, "Are you dangerous?" and I'm just like, "I am Chappie."
"I am Chappie."
What if I just committed to being Chappie on the flight? Like as soon as I got on the plane and they were like, "Can I get you something?" I'm like, "Chappie, want wine? Wine for Chappie?
And then they're like, "Oh, it's because you're watching a movie," and they're like, "No,
No movie.
I am Chappie."
I am Chappie. Documentary about me, Chappie."
There has been a viral video of people getting kicked off planes for almost anything lately that would go viral, and people would be like, "This
Yeah,
works."
Karen thinks she's Chappie.
Because there was already that Karen that thought that the guy next to her wasn't real.
Yeah.
Which we still don't know what that was. She apologized. She's like, "Haha, my bad, sorry." Like there's like this apology video.
What I think happened is she's on some sort of meds, and then maybe she's scared of flying, so she took something else, and then they did not combine well, and she started hallucinating and
Yeah.
saw,
Have you seen the people that ride certain airlines though? If it was like a lower end, like Spirit or something, I would say most of those people don't look like they're real. So who knows?
Oh, yeah.
People look really fucked up when they're going through airports and planes because they're underslept. Most have stinky, unwashed asses.
You walk through the airport and there's just a bunch of weird looking people.
Well, a
I
lot
don't
of
look my
people-
best at the airport.
Well, a lot of people have their travel outfits on, and
Mm-hmm.
you're like, "What? You're just a shape. You're just a bundle of limbs and eyes, and I don't know what you are. You're not even real."
You're not.
I'm
even
on her
real.
side.
I'm real though, and it is Chappie Hour. I didn't watch Chappie on the plane, but we're chapping a nice cava. A cava's like I
Yeah.
guess it's like a prosecco, but cava is. You know what? I don't know where cava's from, but this one's from Spain. Does cava have to be from Spain? Like, because I think
Cava.
prosecco
Sparkling.
technically has to be from Italy.
Cava is made the same way that champagne is produced. Okay.
Oh, but
yeah, that
Spanish
makes
sparkling
sense.
wine.
Spanish sparkling wine.
Okay. So cava's from Spain, prosecco's from Italy, and champagne is from France
Why don't they just call it all one thing?
because it's all different.
I guess, but it's still sparkling wine.
Yeah, but they're varying degrees made from
This is
different grapes.
I like this one the most because the name is the shortest. Champagne, sparkling wine, cava.
Prosecco.
Prosecco. Too many syllables.
I
Cava.
like saying prosecco. Do you have prosecco?
Give me a cava. Give me a cava. Give me a cava. You said that last night. We were at this weird athletic club, which I've learned in LA especially is like a just a club.
Yeah, it's the LA
People
Athletic Club where
hang out.
you need a membership.
You asked for Prosecco, and I could see the look on the bartender's face. I think he didn't know what it was, so he said, "We don't have it."
The guy knew what Prosecco
I think
was.
you have to say sparkling wine. Do you have sparkling wine?
No, because I've asked for sparkling wine before, and then they've been like, no, and then I see a bottle of Prosecco. So
Yeah.
I don't know what the right thing is to say.
I just can sense that in customer service work is because I used to do that at every job I've ever had, where if I just don't know something, I go, "Oh, we don't have that."
Right. It was a place, though, because they only had like one red wine. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it wasn't... And also, everybody was ordering old fashions. I'm like, you know what Prosecco is.
That was not the bar. There's certain bars you can get an old fashioned at, and it has to be, nice, dim, quiet, leather chairs.
There were leather chairs in
I
this
want
place.
the worst looking bartender. Like, I want him to have those stupid suspenders, a big beard,
Yeah.
and
I know. When you have a really annoying looking bartender, you know it's going to be
it's
a
gonna
really
be
good cocktail.
We had a couple of annoying looking bartenders in Victoria. They were lovely, but you're like, okay, take it easy.
Oh, the one guy who would literally taste and smell everything
Yeah.
along the way. I think he was just tasting it to get fucked up, but it was such a good cocktail at the end.
It was fantastic.
Because it was so well balanced.
Wisping around, like he'll grab a bottle and wisp it, and then smell it, and then get the little jigger, the little wigger, thinger out,
Yeah.
and it is called a jigger, right?
It's called a jigger. Yeah, I could see
What?
you going,
I know you can't have those G's and an ER that close together. They should change the name of that thing. It's a jig. It's a jig.
The little metal jobbies.
The little metal jobbies. Jobbies is kind of perfect.
I love saying jobbies.
Yeah, it is. He had his little jobbies, and he was measuring, and but you knew it's going to be great. Where was that? We had a really nice one. No, I think those were all in Victoria.
We had some really nice cocktails in Victoria. You know what else is really nice?
What?
I'm debuting a slicked back ponytail.
Wow. How does that feel? Sharon Stone.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't she known for that?
I don't
Slicking
know.
back her ponytail.
Well, listen, I don't know how Ariana Grande does it because
doesn't it hurt?
it is a bit tight, but it looks good when it's slicked back. I mean, who knows what it's going to look like on camera, but I looked in the mirror and I'm like, oh, well, this is nice. I just felt like doing something different, you know?
Is it possible to tie one so tight that it removes all of your hair? Like it's
You
just
mean rip out all your hair?
Like you just tie it so tight and it's slick, and you're like, "Well, that is slick," and then it goes, "Bing, ding, 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 punk," and then your hair
I mean,
just-
yeah, I think it's possible to get scalped by a ponytail so
Yeah.
tight. But I think Ariana Grande was saying, she's like, yeah, it hurts. I have headaches and I'm losing my hair.
I've had 7 surgeries. She
Yeah.
said on my forehead alone. She has to get a new forehead every 4 months.
Well, she did
She calls it her
say-
4-month forehead.
my 4-month forehead. She did say that she's gotten a lot of like Botox and filler, and she came out being like, I wish I didn't, but at the time I was just trying to hide. I'm like, oh, such a young, beautiful, successful
Isn't
woman.
she like 22 years old?
She's a young, fresh baby, but it goes to show you everybody has their little insecurities, even if you're, Ariana friggin' Grande.
She'll always look young. She's like Michael J. Fox. Even he's an old guy now, and he still looks like a little guy.
No, she has like a little baby face, and she's a little
Selena
dimples.
Gomez too. I'm like, I know you're an adult, but you're still kind of a young kid. I don't know. Also, I'm old. I'm 53 years old.
I'm 72.
That'll be the age. What'll I be doing at 72? Probably exploring birding, I imagine.
Oh yeah, we're really gonna get into birds.
Yeah, I'm gonna be staring at birds.
If there are birds when we're 72, we're probably gonna be in some cocoon, just looking at birds on our, HEPA goggles.
I mean, that's not bad either. HEPA goggles?
Don't know. It's the first thing that came to my mind.
So that people that make HEPA filters are like, let's make goggles.
Yeah, sure.
And they're going to show...
And they filter your eyes.
They filter your eyes. So all the
They
bad
filter
stuff-
birds right
yeah.
into your eyes.
It's possible we'll be living in domes and, riding around in tubes. I don't know. That's the future. Domes and tubes. Vote for me for mayor of Los Angeles. And everyone lives in a dome and a tube. That would not be bad, actually. If we all had like equal sized domes, and it's like, here's your dome. It's free.
A free dome?
A free dome.
Freedom! Freedom!
That's the commercial for free
Freedom.
domes.
That's stupid.
It's pretty dumb.
It's pretty dumb. Matt, you know what else is dumb? Just the news lately. Wow.
I hate... No. you can't try. It has to be... Also, first of all, That was terrible. You got
I thought it was pretty
smoother
cool.
transition. Also, I don't want to talk about the news because the news is fucking atrocious.
Not the news, but just like fun headlines.
I did look up like
fun topics.
fun things.
Yeah, not the actual news. What are we crazy? What do we
No.
want to bum everybody out? No.
104-year-old woman skydove. She might be the skydived. Skydove.
Skydive.
Skydive. Skydive sounds like the name of a
Went
shithead gang.
skydiving.
Went skydiving. She might be the oldest skydiver ever. They're like this
Might be.
That's the thing with this article. They're like, she might be. We're still checking. What are you asking 105-year-olds? Be like, have you gone skydiving?
And they're like,
am I skydiving right now?
wait,
All
who
right.
are we just talking to that they're like, some guy took his like 80-year-old wife skydiving. And she's like, yeah, I want to do this.
Huh.
Oh, I think it was our friend Amanda Clapham.
Really?
Yeah, she's like, some
No,
old
hang
person.
gliding.
Oh.
That one makes more sense.
Still, I can't imagine. Like, my mom's 74. I can't imagine Linda Chapman friggin' hang gliding right now.
Or skydiving.
Or skydiving.
104.
I called my mom today.
Yeah.
And she picked up.
That's
which is-
great.
Which is
That's
nice.
a great story.
I was like, what are you doing? She's like, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just sitting in silence and staring and enjoying the quiet. I'm like,
That's good for some. You ever do that though? I lay on the rug in our living room. Sometimes I just literally stare in complete silence.
yep, you've caught me in those moments before
Yeah.
where I'm just like zoned out and I'm just staring. I'm honestly not thinking about anything. I'm just there. I'm just existing.
Because I think I used to do that a lot as a kid growing up, especially having like no cable, no internet. I'm like, I think I would just sit and stare a lot.
Yeah,
Which is
sometimes
kinda nice.
It's nice. You actually do need to unplug and disconnect, so you're not always like
Yeah.
consuming like a book or a music or a podcast or TV.
I know, I do feel like I have to consume. It is funny that when you're sitting around like a bonfire or something, as long as you're staring at the fire, you're kind of doing something. Mm-hmm. You're like, I'm having a bonfire. It's like, well, we're all just sitting and staring.
Yeah, you're watching the fire.
But
though.
fire is exciting.
Fire's very exciting.
It's very exciting. I
We
would
love a
love to
fire.
light a house on fire.
Whoa.
No, because it's like, I don't know. Again, something primal's in you that just you look at it and you're just like, this is what
Wow.
we used to do, huh? Stare
It
at fire.
dances.
It
and
does.
It's,
You
and
can
the
see little
colors, like it's really something. And it smells nice.
And it cooks your food and it warms your little
It
toesies.
keeps you warm. And
Do you ever melt the bottom of your sandals on a bonfire?
Accidentally, sometimes, yes.
Yeah, I've done it a lot because it feels nice until, you get old goo feet.
Yeah, then you're like, whoopsie daisy.
Yep.
It's like when I'm cooking and I put a spatula on a pot for too long and I'm like, oh, I got a bit of plastic in the sauce.
Dripsy droodles. The evolution of a bonfire too is bush parties when you're in your late teens, early 20s, and then that jackass who's the drunkest will try to jump over it.
Yeah,
Did you ever have those guys growing up?
yeah, and it's very scary for everybody involved, and
Yeah.
it has probably caused a lot of really serious accidents. So,
Yeah.
if you're listening to this while around a bonfire, nobody jump over it.
Don't jump over it because I remember those guys. I mean, I don't remember their names. I don't remember anything about them, but I remember them. Everyone cheering. That must feel pretty good.
Yep.
And then you run towards the bonfire. You jump. If you make it, everyone cheers again, and then everyone just walks away, or everyone goes back to the thing they're doing.
Yeah, you're not like king of the bonfire.
You're not king
all
of the
a sudden.
bonfire. Somebody might toss you another beer, which you don't need,
You certainly don't need that.
or worst case scenario, you don't make it and you ruin the whole party.
Yeah, it's a real bummer. You
So
can't,
people are probably cheering, being like, "I'm so happy the party's not ruined."
Yeah.
They're not cheering for you; they're cheering for the party.
But they probably couldn't even fathom that he wouldn't make it, you know?
Oh, I fathom that. Every time I'm seeing it, I'm like, "Here we go! Fucking Kyle's gonna just
Yeah,
eat
fucking
his own
Kyle
dick.
ruins this bonfire.
He's gonna burn his goddamn pubes on that fucking fire and ruin everything." I feel bad for the Canadian healthcare system because they probably have treated many burnt pubes, charred crotches.
Yeah, a lot
in
of
the
charred-
small town Canada.
charred genitals.
Yeah, and be like, these fucking dudes have got to stop jumping over bonfires.
They should make fireproof undies for small towns.
Yeah. So if you're drunk at a party, hey Kevin, why don't you jump over that bonfire? Hold on, let me put on my fireproof undies.
Well, it's like when people people are always like, you should have like Narcan on you, that like drug thing if someone overdoses.
Yeah, you should have a kit with Narcan and fireproof undies.
Fireproof undies. What else?
Eye wash.
An eye wash. You always need an
Always
emergency
need
eye
an eye
wash.
wash. Yeah, it's the most important
The
thing.
amount of people who get weird things in their eyes. Our friend Alana at our vow renewal, our big wedding, she got something stuck in her eye.
Yeah.
Really caused her grief.
And that's the thing. When something's stuck in your eye, nothing else matters.
Nope.
You're breathing fine. You feel your whole body's great, but guess what? There's something in my eye, and that needs to get out.
And it sucks.
I remember I went swimming in a saltwater pool.
Oy, oy.
This was years ago in Toronto, and I had a show that night. And like an idiot, I was like, my eyes are so dry. They were like so achy and burning, and I didn't do anything. I tried to rinse them out a little bit, but I'm like, nothing's working. And I went a whole night just with like the driest. Like I shouldn't have eyeballs right now.
No, they should be.
They should be
just
dried up old cranberries.
Like a slug, like when you get like a leech on you. Have you ever had a leech on you?
Oh, many times.
I've had a leech and you put salt on it and it goes, yeah.
I've never done that. I've always ripped them off.
You're supposed to put salt because if you rip them off, they can like, and they're really stuck, then they can like hurt you, damage.
Oh, yeah. They hurt every time. We would just do lighters. We go, and they go,
Oh, that's mean.
but then they crawl away to suck another day. These little blood suckers.
Suck another day.
Here's the thing with leeches. Just ask me and I'll give you some of my blood.
Well, same with mosquitoes. I want to be like, look, man, what if I just like
Give you and
give
your
you a
friends.
little thimble
Yeah.
of blood? You do you, I'll do me.
Yeah. Let's try that. Let's try putting out a little thing of blood in our backyard.
Well, the neighbors are going to see and they're going to be like, wow, what the fuck are they doing? They're trying to like communicate with the mosquitoes here.
If you were out with a plate of blood and you were going, mosquitoes!
Skitties.
Skeety, skeety,
Oh,
skeeties.
Shan. What are you doing?
Yeah, the neighbors would be like, they need to leave. They have a plate of blood and they're begging for mosquitoes. So yeah, a 104-year-old woman went skydiving.
Skydiving. I feel like I had something to say.
Did you? Well, you better say it quick.
Well, I am saying it quick. So why don't you just deal with that? Here's something that I read. A little headline from Popular Mechanics. Okay, and I don't even know where to begin with this because I didn't read the full article. But your consciousness can connect with the whole universe. I said
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah.
Your consciousness can connect with the whole universe, scientists say. What is that?
But you didn't read the article to see what it was all about?
But then it says a recent experiment suggests the brain is not too warm or wet for consciousness to exist as a quantum wave that connects with the rest of the universe.
I get that. Well, did you? I think I was telling you about this the other day. There's some experiment where they shoot particles at these like slots, and if you're looking at the experiment, then they go straight through the slits. Mm-hmm. But if no one is observing it, then the dots kind of go everywhere.
How do they know the dots are going everywhere if no
Because
one's
they have
observing
little
it?
like some sort of markings or something. I'm explaining this very terribly, but it's basically the whole point is that quantum mechanics is like you have to observe something for it to be real. Someone has to observe it. It's the whole Schrodinger's cat.
Yes,
thing.
I think we did talk about this last time actually. But here's what I don't. Okay, why does the warmth and the wetness of my brain have to do with any of this?
Hot brain makes the universe go insane.
It's like my brain is the perfect temperature to connect with the whole universe.
I
It's
like
too
days
much.
where I feel like I have a cool brain.
Oh yeah, you never want to have hot brain.
No, when I'm hungover, I feel like I have hot brain.
Yeah.
Things are sizzling and things are popping and snapping, and they shouldn't be. When I have a nice cool brain,
I want a cool wet brain.
I want a cool wet brain.
A hot dry brain.
No, too sticky.
Too crispy.
No, too crispy. I don't want a crispy brain. I want a wet one.
I want a wet.
There should be
Wet brain.
companies like that can moisten your brain for you. I'm sure it would help.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's definitely not hurting anything.
I mean, it might be. I think your brain could be too moist.
Yeah.
You can't.
I would like one of those fishbowl heads that you see in like sci-fi things, where my consciousness is just zapped into a fish, and then I just have a big wet fishbowl head. Would you still be married to me if I had a fishbowl head and I was just a tiny fish in that, but I still have a full body?
But you still have this whole body.
Yep.
Do you speak the same?
Yeah, but out of like a little microphone.
Wait, does a little microphone have a mustache?
Yes.
Do I have to like?
Do stuff to the body.
Wait, how do you sleep? Like, do I have to change the water, or do you do that?
No, I sleep standing up at the end of the bed, staring at you.
No, absolutely not. Maybe I was gonna say maybe if you could take your head off at night, but that's creepy too.
That's not bad. Then you have the whole bed to yourself, and I'm just a fishbowl on the side bed.
Oh, I was gonna say your body sleeps and the fishbowl's on the side.
Yeah. We could work something out.
We'll figure it
Either
out.
way, it sounds like you're not entirely not into it if I get a giant wet fishbowl head.
Well, I isn't that nice that I still love you and would want to be with you?
That is nice. That is nice.
We'd have to have a bit of an open relationship where I could, be with other people and you would just stay at home.
Yeah. I get it.
Anyway.
Looks like a moose got on the loose in Stockholm. No one's talking about that.
No one's talking about
I don't
moose
know
on the loose
anything
in
about this
Stockholm.
article, but it says moose on the loose in Stockholm subway. So it got all the way into the subway
Creates havoc.
and is shot dead.
Shit.
I mean, yeah. I mean, these ticket collectors, they're more intense than you think they are.
Can you imagine
When I was riding the TTC in
a
Toronto,
full moose?
I got shot many times.
If you can,
People thought I was a moose.
if you were dressed up as a full moose and you stormed the TTC, nobody would do shit. A moose is huge.
Moose are huge. I mean, that's how did it get through the turnstiles? Or that little gate that has the little arms on it that goes, and then you have. It looks like
think-
you're going to get processed into Swiss cheese.
I think you just fucking bum rushed the Capitol there.
Probably. Well, our good friend Ian Gordon. Shout out to Ian Gordon.
Hi, Ian.
Rather tall man, very tall, but just the most friendly man. But a large, tall man. And I heard tell that he used to not pay for subway fares by just pointing at them and going, "No."
This was like 15 years ago.
Years and years ago. But and it worked. It worked for a while.
Because he's just a moose of a man.
Yeah, you're not going to tell a large man, please give me two. What was subway fare back in the day? $2?
I think it was like when I first moved to Toronto, I think it was $175.
Yeah.
What is it now? $3.75?
TTC fare. Is it $3.75? Single fare, $3.35.
Oh, yoy. And guess what? Like, it's not like we're all making that much more money.
No.
It's not like
It's not
minimum wage has
matching
gone up that much.
What's happening? I remember when it went to $2.25. Where this is hot Toronto TTC transit talk. This is now the segment. And I remember people refusing to give the quarter. I'd be on the streetcar and they'd throw a toonie in the thing and they'd be like, "That's all you're getting. I'm not giving you an extra quarter. I'm not giving you anything else." But once it got up to $2.50, people were like, all right,
okay.
I can't
And
risk
now
this.
I don't even think they take tokens or anything. I think it's all like automated. Like
No, there's Presto, but I
there's
think
a whole system.
I think maybe they don't take tokens anymore.
I don't think they do. Anyway,
Well, that was the cheat too. Is you have so much gross pennies and dimes and whatever, and you chuck them all in, and you're like, you're not going to count this in time for
yeah,
me to
you're
stick
not.
around.
You can't count this
Yeah.
this full thing.
Yeah.
Speaking about greedy and money and all this, so I guess Disney celebrated their 100th birthday.
Losers. 100. So 1923. Huh.
I guess so. And Bob Iger was all like, "Yeah, we couldn't have done this without everybody here." And it's like, you literally,
Everyone's on strike.
everybody's on strike. Like, what are you talking about? Everybody here? They were literally throwing a birthday party as people were striking outside of it. It's like, come on, Bob.
Scab City. Yeah, October 16th, 1923, Walt Disney and his brother Roy, you don't hear a lot about Roy,
You never hear about Roy Disney.
found the Disney Brothers cartoon studio. Ooh, I bet Walt was like, "It's not brothers. I hate that it's brothers." Who's Roy Disney?
Well, this is the first I'm hearing of Roy Disney.
That's the perfect name for a schlub brother that you're just like, fucking
Roy O. Disney.
Roy's
O.
here. He died in 2009. He went the distance.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. He left Disney. Some sort of corporate takeover. There's a snafu here.
Was there a hostile takeover?
Some sort of, yep.
Was it like Succession?
There's a picture of Walt and Roy, and they have pistols drawn, and they're pointing them at each other's cheeks. Give me the mouse. No, you give me the duck. This is what full-grown men had to worry about.
But from the time I was a kid, I never heard of Roy Disney.
Never seen this man in my
It was
life.
always Walt Disney. Okay, we got to look into this for next time.
Walter Disney? Is that his name?
Walter Disney. Okay, wait.
What?
I'm off this topic now because we have some hot goss of the neighborhood. Okay, so Matt when I was in Oklahoma, which we'll get to. Matt texted me. He's like, the guy who has the anime car. He had this BMW that was wrapped
this
in
is huge.
anime, like the whole thing.
It was some character named Akiko Hoshikawa, and it was very colorful, very vibrant. I want to say semi-sexy cartoon lady.
Not as sexy as a lot of anime, because a lot of anime is
big, jugged, half nude, but in a sensible garb, some sort of like almost like nursing outfit.
Yeah, it was suggestive.
Yeah, it's definitely suggestive. But had all of it. Had like a Twitter handle, like an Instagram handle, which I thought was crazy, and I looked it up, and it was just this guy making fun of movies he's seen. That's his whole Twitter. But while you were in Oklahoma, I found out, that I was just like, that BMW looks like the other BMW. And I saw him like polishing it. I'm like, oh, he removed all of the anime stickers, all the anime painting.
Yeah. And now I'm like, I want to launch a full investigation. I want to know why he did it. And Matt thinks it's because he got a girlfriend. And she was like, the stickers got to go.
Yeah. It must have, because I have observed them being very cute. Sometimes she shows up and they clearly go on little dates. Imagine showing up to dinner in this giant anime mobile. Even if your boyfriend opens the door for you, you're like, don't touch the car.
Yeah.
Don't touch this thing. But here's the thing with that, too, is there's another anime car around the corner, and I haven't seen that one in a bit, too. But if it is still out there, it's definitely lonely, because there used to be these two boys, these two guys.
I wonder if, because that's the thing. That's such a bold, even if listen, I love Frasier.
Yeah.
I love Below Deck. But I'm not going to wrap my car in full Frasier. There might be a moment where I'm like, I'm going to do this for a year. But then I'd be like, you know what? It's time to remove Frasier from my car.
Yeah, I do see, like, I saw some bumper stickers last night that were, like, video game related. We were driving behind it. I almost said something to you. I'm like, you want to hear this at all? But I'm like, I do love certain video games so much, but I never am going to be like, I'm going to put a bumper sticker on my car. I don't.
Although we do have a Costco bumper sticker about the Polish sausage and the hot dog. So there you go.
That's fine. Yeah. That's fine. That's funny. I do want to put that other bumper sticker, but it's a bit too racy.
Yeah, the bumper sticker that says, keep honking. I'm behind the wheel trying to suck my own dick, and I'm definitely going to crash.
Yeah, that's really funny. I think I didn't put it on the car because I didn't write that joke, and I felt very weird getting laughs for that. So now it's on my stationary bike.
But also, I'm like, I don't want people
trying to
honking at me and whatever.
Trying to suck my dick.
Also, when I'm driving the car alone and someone's like, hey,
you sucking your own dick?
You sucking your own dick there, fancy lady? I'd be like, just leave me alone.
Here's the thing with these anime cars. If you're after the podcast, Google them. Just Google like anime car trend, because there's a name for it. The customized cars are called itasha in Japanese.
Okay.
It's a slang expression for ita, from the Japanese term itai or itashi, meaning ouch or painful.
Okay, so it's painful for the cars?
It's something disgraceful that you cannot bear to look at, or in joking combination with itcha. It's basically...
It's so tacky you don't want to look at this?
It's so tacky you don't want to look at it. I can't tell if it's the people with the cars making this up or people that don't like it. I have a feeling that people are like, I can't bear to look at that. That's so ugly. And then all these guys were like, that's hilarious. I'm going to have the ugliest, stupidest car.
Should we wrap our car in something crazy?
Maybe.
How do you do that? Like, where do you go for such a thing?
They have taxis in Japan that are Ita taxis. They're hideous anime taxis. This guy was like out of his league here. That's the thing. If we all had Ita cars, Itashi, if we were all Itashiing across the neighborhood, maybe he wouldn't feel so weird, and maybe his
and he also probably saw you taking pictures of his car all the time.
All
and
the
he's
time.
like, ugh, this guy's judging me.
I thought it gave our neighborhood a little flair.
You
I kind of
shamed him. He probably did it because of you.
He might have. Yeah. I wonder if he found me and saw my Instagram stories. But it wasn't malicious. It wasn't malicious. I was like, this is crazy, but it's fun. But it spiced everything up a little bit. We got to make our cars more fun looking, I think.
Well, you know what else? You know what's fun?
What?
I know you hate my segues, but why don't we talk about something,
Do you want stupid or warm?
Let's do something stupid.
Oh.
Let's do something really dumb and stupid.
Well,
That
that
was
was stupid.
stupid.
Do you want to go first with the stupid one? Because I got a real stupid one.
Oh, Matt's got a real stupid one. I got a stupid one.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I was in Oklahoma, and it was
Oklahoma,
fun.
where the pine trees grow, and I go to blow my nose on my shirt.
Yeah. So I I was in McAllister, Oklahoma, and a very small town, and two things that were quite stupid. So we landed on the Thursday, and I had to spend like 3 hours at an airport Chili's waiting for my friend Dan to land. And
Dan to land.
Dan to land. And then we had to rent a car, drive all the way to McAllister, 2 hours. So we got in around 9, went to dinner, and then we checked into the hotel. And as soon as we're checking in, they're like, "Oh, we don't have anything under that name." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And the woman's like, "I'll check you in anyway because I know the guy who like books a festival, and I'll just get you checked in." I'm like, "That's so sweet of you." And by the way, when we were at dinner before, people are like, "Oh, you're staying at that inn?" They're like, "That's the nicest hotel in town." So I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." Cut to us checking in. I'm like, "Oh God." Checks me into my first room. Door doesn't lock. The door is open and the TV's on. I'm like, "Okay." So I go back and I'm like, "Excuse me, door's open. TV's on." She's like, "TV's supposed to be on." And then she's like, "Did you jiggle the handle?" I'm
Don't
like,
make it lock. When doors don't lock in hotels or closed, that implies they've been kicked down or
Yeah.
jimmied open and broken.
It would, but just how much she was just like, "Did you jiggle the handle?" I'm like, "Yes, I jiggle the handle. It doesn't lock." All right.
I don't want to have to jiggle anything at a hotel.
Exactly. And then next hotel room, she's like, "Okay, that's on the third floor. Bit of construction up there. Sorry for the mess." I'm like, "That's fine." I get in. Smells like piss. Massive wet spot on the floor.
Massive wet spot.
Massive wet spot. I get Dan. I'm like, "Dan, does it smell like piss? Is it a wet spot?" He's like, "Yeah, that's a wet spot." So I go down again.
Also,
I'm like,
that would be my
"Hey."
DJ name, by the way.
Massive wet spot.
DJ Massive Wet Spot.
That's good.
That's not bad. And the further into my DJ set I go, the more I piss my pants.
Oh
DJ
yeah.
Massive Wet Spot. And then finally an effect comes, the final song, the big drop, and then it goes and a bunch of water, but it's like piss colored, shoots
And
in
you
the
just
crowd.
and it shoots in the crowd. Yeah,
And a
yeah.
massive wet, and then we all become the massive wet spot.
Yeah, so DJ Massive Wet Spot happened.
Yeah.
Again, TV's on, freaks me out. And then, so I call down. I'm like, "Hey, sorry." She's like, "Okay, I'll give you another one." And you could tell she was like, "Fuck this LA bitch." But I'm like, it's a wet spot. It smells like piss. She checks me into my final hotel room, and I took a picture of it on the TV. Just some literal criminal on my TV.
Yeah.
Like, just the scariest man I've ever seen. And a TV in the bathroom. A weird tiny TV that's kind of been ripped out of the wall in the bathroom. And the room didn't smell like piss though, so I stayed there. But I put a towel over the TV. Did I tell you this?
No.
I put a towel over the TV because part of me was like, what if someone's watching me
Through the television.
through the television?
I'm not sure if you know how TVs work.
I'm not sure if you know how fucking freaky little Oklahoma hotel rooms work.
Could be a giant camera.
Because there was a red light that was on it, but I was like,
That's a TV.
but it wasn't plugged in. No. Ooh.
Okay.
You're stupid. Anyway, so that was that. And then the stupidest thing to do with this hotel room, I got my check at the end of the weekend. I'm like, hell yeah. And I kept being like, okay, make sure not to lose this, put it in a safe place. So I didn't bring it out with me when I went out partying. I went to a honky tonk and I kept it. And then the next day I was just throwing out some old receipts. And it's not until I'm on the plane that I'm like, I just threw out my check.
A true businesswoman.
Literally, I got my money and I went, not for me, into the garbage.
Never mind. Throw it in the garbage. I do this for me and me alone.
And I was like, oh shit. And then I'm talking to Dan. He's like, it's fine. He just tell him to cancel it and reissue. I'm like, I feel so stupid. And I emailed the guy and he was so nice about it. He's like, okay, yeah, I'll cancel it. Another one will be in the mail. I'm like, thank you so much. And then Dan texted me the next day and he's like, well, this is how stupid I am. He's like, I left my check on the plane and I had to go back and
I'm
get
just
it.
picturing him holding it.
Holding
and
the
he's
check the
sitting
whole
there,
time.
And then he just passes out and it whiffs into the air conditioning or something. You're both insane. As a person that was at home, I was like, taking care of things. And then my wife's coming back. She made a bit of money. And then having you come back being like, well, I worked, but I made nothing. I came back with less. It's like, if this was old-timey days, be like, well, where's the money? You went out for money and you threw the money in the garbage?
I threw the money in the garbage.
Yeah. So that's pretty damn stupid.
It's very stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, what do you got, DJ Wet Spot?
DJ Big Wet Spot. First of all, I will say the name of this company. I don't care if they're going to sue me or anything. Western Dental is the worst company on the planet. I used them last year, and I remember I went in for like a new patient thing. I was there for like 3 or 4 hours. Like I was there forever.
I remember you were there for over 2 hours.
So long, so much that I was in the chair, and I got up to leave. I'm like, okay, no one's talked to me for an hour, and the dentist is like, sit down. And he looks at my teeth, and he tells me I have a cavity, barely looking at my teeth. I get a filling there, whatever. Cut to now, I have a weird pressure in my tooth. I'm like, fuck, I'll just go back for an appointment or whatever. They already had my file.
Yeah, in case there was an issue with the filling you put
Of
in,
course.
'cause it's that tooth.
So make an appointment. It's for like the next day. It's super quick. Go in. And the woman at the front desk is like, oh, the dentist that can work on you is called in sick this morning. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll just go for another dentist. And she's like, well, no, that's the only dentist. I was like, so you can do nothing for me? And she's like, yeah. I was like, well, why didn't you call me to let me know? She didn't answer. She's like, I'm just very, very sorry for this. I'm like, that's crazy.
Didn't she say, well, he just called in sick this morning? And you're like,
it's 3 p.m. I drove. Here's the thing. It's not that far away, but it is my time and effort to get there.
Also,
and
so many people work 9 to 5s and have to take off work for these things. You know what I mean? Like this.
There was reviews of this place. Literally, people being like, a guy being like, I lost money because I didn't go to work because I needed a tooth thing, and the dentist didn't show up. So this is a common thing there. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, I kept it together. I'm like, okay, well, this is the worst experience I've ever had at a dentist. I'm never going to come back here. And I walked out and went home and then booked another dentist in our area. And I still don't know what the hell's going on with their healthcare. And then the balls on this company calls me the next day. Hey, it's Western Dental. Why didn't you show up for your appointment yesterday?
Can you imagine?
I was livid. My eyelids started sweating. My body was shivering. I'm like, how dare you? I showed up. Your dentist didn't show up. And then they were very like, okay. And then they're about to hang up. And I'm like, no. That's it? And they're like, do you want to add anything else? I'm like, yes. I said, quit your job. This is the worst company ever. I know you're just a worker, but you have to work for another company because this is the worst company ever. That's insane. It's insane. What a terrible company. Western Dental. Oh my God.
You're also insane.
Yes. But here's the best part is I got this new dentist and it's definitely covered under their healthcare plan. But all the reviews are like, man, he moves fast, and I was bleeding a lot. That's all.
This guy's literally just gonna machete your fucking gums.
Yeah, he's coming at you with 2 golf clubs. And he's just gonna start hacking at my gums.
Well, yeah, your appointment's tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes.
It's like early in the morning, but I kind of am excited. It's like waiting to go on a ride at the fair.
You're gonna come back just with one big rhino tooth.
Yeah, one
he's
big.
He's gonna be like, well, he removed all my teeth.
He removed all my teeth, and now I have one tooth. But it's just really funny. It's like not 1-star reviews, but it's like 4 or 5 stars being like, whoo, he was fast. He got the job done, but I am bleeding. Dr. Chen, you are the man. So we'll see. I am excited.
We love Dr. Chen.
But the woman at the front who I talked to, she seemed very nice, and she laughed at my little quips. So that's a good start. We'll see.
Oh, you're just a sucker because you need women to laugh at
you. I do need women to laugh at me. Oh, yeah. We should probably say something warm that happened and nice this week.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
Yeah. I mean, okay. Overall, I will say this. McAllister, I was really worried because I didn't know what I was walking into.
Oklahoma's a real coin toss, I feel. I've been there a couple times.
It
and
is.
You're like, I don't know what to expect from this state. Anything can happen.
And McAllister is like the piece of McAllister of Oklahoma, like that little, it kind of looks like a finger point, like that little thin strip.
The Oklahoma finger.
That was like no man's land for a while. Like it belonged to no state, and it literally was like a lawless place. And then finally they're like, yeah, give it to Oklahoma. So it's a weird, and there was just so many like closed down businesses and houses, and it was kind of sad, but the people were genuinely so nice. And after the first show, Dan and I were selling magnets, which we do for like pay what you can or whatever. Usually I'm like $1, $5. This guy gave us $100.
Crazy.
He gave us $100, and so many people are like, we don't deserve you here. This was so great. Or like, I've seen a bunch of comedy shows in town over the years, and this one was the best. Like they really liked it, and it was really nice. And one more stupid thing that ends up with a warm and fuzzy. So I've never rented a car solo before.
First time.
So that was my first time. And Dan and I are both, we both have ADHD. We're both a bit space cadet-y. So when we were driving, we were in Tulsa, we had this beautiful, like, this amazing diner brunch, and we're like, fuck yeah. We're like, we're making perfect time to get to the airport. We're like, everything's working out. And I was like, hell yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what do I owe you for the rental? I'm like, just cover gas. We'll fill up after this and we'll go. He's like, perfect. I'm like, okay. So we end up not filling up. We don't get gas. We forget to get gas.
Yep.
And then the car rental place ends up charging. Do you know how much they charge you if you don't?
A lot of money.
$10 a gallon.
Yeah, that was my first and only advice for when you were renting the car.
No, you did say fill it up, and you said don't get the prepaid.
Don't get the prepaid, fill it up yourself.
But here's the thing: if I'd gotten the prepaid, it would have been way cheaper.
Yeah, I think it would have been way cheaper, double cheaper if you just fill it up yourself.
Probably, but guess what? Me stupid.
Yeah.
So I called the car rental company and I explained the situation, and I was already in distress about other healthcare stuff because they were trying to charge me and still are charging me like an extra $600. Anyway, healthcare is scary. The woman was so nice. This was at budget. She was so kind and so sweet. And she's like, here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to give you the price of what it would have been if you prepaid, which is like $3.33 a gallon or something. And I was like, oh my God.
Gas queen.
And I was like crying. And then she's like, had to repeat it back to me. So she's like, okay, so you forgot to fill up. They were charging you $10 a gallon. And I heard distress in your voice. So I'm like,
this is for her supervisor later.
it was just,
this is why I did what I did.
it was just so warm and fuzzy. And I just got like, I literally just got an email from Budget being like, how do we do? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to be like, yo, this
Fine.
lady was so sweet.
Did you get her name?
I did.
Her badge number?
Badge number. She's
I don't know.
a
Sometimes
cop.
they have a badge number.
No, but I'm going to follow up because I have like a case number. And yeah, it just, and that's the thing. And Dan was like, oh, that's on me because I'm going to pay gas. I'm like, I refuse to let both of our stupidity make you pay that much in gas.
Yeah. That's
like,
insane.
come on. Anyway, it's warm and fuzzy, and Oklahoma was a nice time. And yeah,
it's a cute, quaint little place.
It was quaint as shit.
Well, I was here.
You were here.
Just me and the dog watching various weirdo movies. I watched Omega Man, old Charlton Heston movie. Quite exciting.
Ooh.
Very progressive, too. You'll know why if you watch it. But what made me feel nice this week, I washed the car. I really washed it. I washed it so good. I even like Windex the windows. I'm like, I don't even know if you're supposed to Windex car windows, but it's a window. I'll Windex the windows. I Windex inside, outside. And then I was like driving into the sunset and I'm like, fuck, it's all so clear. All the windows are so clear. I was looking at my mirrors. I'm like, holy shit, they should look like this. It was crisp.
Yeah.
I felt like I was CGI. I felt
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, it was very, and I was just like listening to like lo-fi, like and just driving into the sunset, and it's just so like clear. It felt really nice, and I upped the tire pressure at Costco, and so the tires are like full, and the gas tank is full, and I'm just like, clean car. This feels great. Am I a car guy? I hope I'm not a car guy. I can't afford to be a car guy.
No, but isn't that nice that like you have, your 2014 Prius and you take pride in it and you keep it nice, and it's like, that's nice.
That's the thing. I just like whatever car I have. Yeah. I'm not like, sure I'll see like an old Mustang or a muscle car and be like, oh, if I fucking had that. But I'm like, that's too much car. I don't know what to do with that. A Prius is not enough car, and I'm too much man. So that works out. Like if a Prius was a person, I'd be like, I could fucking beat you up.
I mean, I'd be like, I'm going to be friends with you and see what's wrong and resolve our differences with our words.
I know, but I like to keep it clean.
Yep.
And I did, and it felt really nice. Made me feel really good.
The crisp windshield, because you don't really realize, because I wear glasses, sometimes I'm like, I haven't polished these in a while, and then I'll really polish them with like the spray, and I'm like, Oh my God. I'm going to do that right after this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. I've been looking through these like dim lenses this whole time. These smudge and this makeup and hairspray or whatever the hell is on this.
Isn't it weird that polish and Polish are spelled the same?
Yes.
It's so odd.
I am Polish.
Every time I spell polish, I'm like, well, that's Polish. But it's also Polish. The English language is a real hodgepodge.
It really is.
I'll tell you what else is a hodgepodge.
Wild.
We got to get out of here.
We do.
So thank you very much for listening to another week. We're going to go to our friend Alana and Norm's and watch The Golden Bachelor. So maybe we'll talk about that later.
I bet that's going to be warm and
Bunch
fuzzy.
of old people sucking and fucking on TV.
If you're not watching it, you should. The last week's episode really got me good. I was just sitting there bawling.
It's a lot of women crying
Full
at the
bawling.
show.
And him crying. The Golden Bachelor himself is crying.
The Golden Bachelor cried? Unbelievable. I'll tell you what else is unbelievable. Where you can find me online, I'm Matt O'Brien. I'm Matt O'Brien on Instagram, and that's the only one you need to worry about. What about you?
I'm Julia Comedy, and coming up, I will be in Seattle, November 3rd to 4th at Laughs Comedy Club in Seattle, and I dare you to come see me.
I fucking dare you, dude.
Yeah.
I'll be at the Dead Crow in North Carolina, December 1st and 2nd. Also, I booked a club for June 2024.
Oy.
If you're ever like, I wonder what it's like to book comedy clubs. Sometimes it's like this. Sometimes they're like, are you available June 2024? And you're like, I am nothing but right now.
We'll see.
We'll friggin' see. We'll friggin' see you next week. Thanks very much for listening, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Sha la 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 la.